Okay, so if we're going to hit this V of the Callaway logo, okay, with my hammer club, right? Okay, I would stand bolt upright because this V is at chest height, okay, and I would have my hammer, so my club face, pointed straight at the V, and I would have the palm of my right hand also in the same direction. Agreed?
Yep. Good morning. It's 5:25 a.m. Welcome down to the channel. Right, I'm using my light on my phone. It's still dark outside, and I'm going to the golf club. So we've been back to golf for a couple of weeks now, and I've really struggled quite badly. So I'm off to see Simon for an early morning lesson before I go to work today. So my lesson's at 6. I'm going to get to the club, have a warm up. Yeah, I've really struggled with everything. At the moment, I have no idea how I pick up the club and hit a ball. I have so many swing thoughts going through my head. It's ridiculous. I keep trying to self-fix it, trying to say, oh, maybe I'll do this, and then I think I fixed it with something, and then it's not right, and I need to go and get some other eyes on it, and have Simon have a proper look and see what is going on. So let's get to the golf club, have a warm up, and then we'll get in that teaching bay and we'll have a chat with Simon.
So get up on your feet and get on down. Real low. One foot to the left and jump to the right. On your feet, yeah, and get on down. Real low. One foot to the left and jump to the right. Now what's the vibe? It's a party time. Wanna move my feet now. I wanna drink my wine. Feeling that vibe.
Right, warm up done. I am in the bay. Simon is here. Morning, Simon. Morning. Right, it is early, so it's going to be a bit tight. But I'm going to just let Simon have a look because I don't know where it's going. So we just need to find out how I'm picking it up, how I'm getting the club back through the swing, everything. I just have no idea what's going on. So good luck, Si. You've got your work cut out.
Okay, right, we're going to start with 6 iron. I've put some HMT dots on that, so we've got the obviously GC2 HMT down on the floor. I'm going to get some data on the old iPad. So I want you to hit me 5 shots, Ryan, aiming straight out into the bay. Just basically go straight down these lines. The machine is set up straight to the lines. Let's just hit 5, and let's just have a little look initially, see what's going on.
Get on down, get on down. Real low. One foot to the left and jump to the right.
That's so sweet.
Cool, so shot number 2, remember that.
Oh.
Remember shot number 2.
So that, for me, is where I'm picking it up higher, which is fine, but it's then getting it down. Whereas if I feel like I pick it up on the inside, then I'm just all cramped up.
All night. Real low. Oh, so get up on your feet and get on down. Real low.
Yeah.
Fins.
So that's what you want me to see, isn't it?
One that's like plum, and then 2 which I'd say were pretty good.
I'd say that's a fair reflection of what goes on.
What's going on? Yeah, absolutely.
Let's have a look. Okay, so let's have a look at these 5 shots that you've just hit in here. Obviously, we remember shot number 2, second shot you hit was the one that you really liked. So it's that one kind of we want to replicate. So with a 6 iron, 6,000 revolutions of spin, 180 yard carry, that's pretty much where you want to be, considering obviously we're using range balls.
Range balls, yeah.
So strike, 3 kind of slightly toe center, which is cool, then a couple down in here. Obviously the red dot is the one that you just hit. So if we look at the dynamics of the shots that you hit, the club path is pretty good. It's slightly into out. It crept up to 5 into out on the last one, which is probably as high as I'd want you to go. We want you to go much more into out than that, but very good. Your angle of attack is steep, but then like me, you're very tall, club comes down from a height, so we're going to have large angles of attack. For me, the issues come where club face control is pointing left and pointing right, and that lie angle, the club is actually getting a bit toe up.
Which is
Interesting, because that's different, because normally you've been toe down historically. So knowing that, I would allow yourself on the next few just to remember that you can keep nice and tall, you can stay up through the ball. I think at the moment so much is going on in your head. I think some of this will be good clarity for you. So you don't need to change the swing particularly. I would just like you to try and feel like you deliver the hands a little bit higher, and what that'll do, that'll hopefully help square the club up, because at the moment we've got rightward path and often a rightward face as well. Yeah. And then you're trying to snap it closed at the bottom, consciously or subconsciously, just because you know you want to hit it straight, and you kind of body knows where the club face should be pointing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I'm sort of just collapsing down a little bit.
Possibly. I mean, we're only talking a couple of degrees, so it's not huge. But if that toe gets up in the air, then it becomes very difficult to find the middle of the club face. So if the toe goes that way,
and I'm
bring all that strike down here. And if we think about our strikes, you've hit a few out of the bottom, and then these ones that have come out of the toe have probably come where you've just tried to eke the club square that way, and then obviously that adds loft and is going to not be as efficient as possible. So we're going to just call this lie, and all I want you to do is just think tall, okay? So maybe slightly less knee flex, and again that might help with this cramped type feeling. Okay. Just, you are tall, so you've got clubs built for a tall person, so stay tall.
I've definitely felt like when I've tried to fix it myself out on the range, I felt if I have stood a little bit more, I have found a straighter shot, but then I've found more shanks.
Okay,
so
interesting. Interesting. So, well, potentially that again, if the lie angle goes this way, that brings the middle down towards the heel. So just stay nice and upright, nice and tall, and just keep trusting it. There's a good start. 178 carry. A little bit off to the right, but 1 degree on the lie angle that time. So you've made a difference. Good work. Yeah. 0.5 on the lie angle. So just sometimes just a conscious chat makes the difference, because I'm not talking like it's huge degrees different, like a couple of degrees different is not a massive change. It's something you can just kind of do intentionally yourself rather than physically. There you go. That's the one that comes off near the heel, isn't it?
And away it goes.
Oh yeah. So the last 3 strikes, getting down in towards, it's getting closer and closer to that heel.
To the heel.
That's.
It's a party time. Wanna move my feet. Wanna drink my wine. Feeling the vibe. We're so lit.
It's interesting. So that was the only one. It was the only one that went to a minus lie angle. You just got it, and then the last one lost it on it. But you made a change. So definitely made a change.
So
that's toe down.
Toe down.
Yeah, which means you've gone too far the other way.
The other way.
So get another one.
Yeah.
See, a little fat, but
Toe down again. Quite upright here.
No.
Almost
It's level.
Yeah.
So what's interesting, after the conversation we had, definitely moving strikes around, which is the next thing we're going to. But you can see that average is now 1 degree toe up rather than averaging 2, but getting some 4s and some 3.5s up there as well. So just by having that conversation and also allowing yourself. That's why I love the machine, because it gives you the knowledge. You can then try something a little bit different without me having to make kind of wholesale changes, and we see a difference. Now, we didn't necessarily see a difference in overall strike. It certainly is still down towards that heel, which is where we need to move it away from. On those second lots. But definitely better lie angle, because if you can get the lie much more level through the ball, then we can start controlling actually where the face is pointing.
Okay, so Simon's just fitted a lovely little sticker just here.
Yes.
And that will allow me to see
exactly where you're hitting it. Yeah, exactly. And Again, we're just trying to make a small change. So I don't want to make massive changes, but I want you to be aware of it.
Yeah.
So when you look back at the sticker after you've hit the shot and go, oh,
That's
look how
right.
close it is to heel, we can then make an instant change to the next shot.
Yeah.
And for you, like it's so close in terms of the numbers, but we're not seeing it translate out there, which is simply centerness of strike. Now we've got over that club not being so toe up, we've got to have that strike. So it could be that the only thing that comes out of today is one small technical change we'll chat about in a minute,
Yeah.
but lots of time with stickers. Because if you hit a shot and go, ugh, but then you look at it and go, whoa, look how far out the heel that is,
Yeah.
that's going to give you the feedback and the reinforcement to be like, well, I need to move this next one. Let's hit this one and let's just have a look at the sticker.
All night.
Okay, so lovely straight ball flight. Just slightly toe, so you probably want to come around this side maybe so we can see in the light. There we go, just slightly toe of centre, but we're not going to argue about that.
No.
That's good, excellent, good. Now we need to repeat that. So I often talk to people about strike is a bit like clutch control on a car when you're learning to drive. To start with, it's all over the place. You either leave the clutch way down and rev it out,
yeah.
or pull out too quickly and stall. But over time, you learn that kind of finesse to it, and then by the time you can drive, you could jump in any car.
Yeah.
And it's the same with strike. You can't teach it. It's not like the driving instructor says, oh, you need to be 7.2 inches down for a Mark IV Ford Fiesta, for example. It's all done on that kind of
Feel.
nuance.
Yeah.
Running on my feet.
And sometimes it's just about a conversation, some education.
Still within that little.
Still in the same
dotted.
circle. So let's just hit another one. So we've got 3.
Feeling so fly. Wanna dance.
So there we go. So there's three shots on the bounce there, and we're not going to argue with any of those. You know, that's a perfectly acceptable tolerance for you at your handicap level. You're going to be
Yeah.
happy with those. So let's get some more numbers on this, and let's just see if we can keep repeating this. So it's 2 things. It's obviously strike location, but it's direction. 'Cause if you can get away with a miss here if it's going straight.
Yes.
So get up on your feet. Get on down. Real low, low.
4 hands off in a row.
So would you say, obviously they're not the strikes that you want, but they're all much nearer the centre in terms of toe and heel?
Right.
They're just all too high.
Just
Club's just all too high. Everything else in terms of the delivery is very steep, and that again, the further forwards you shift,
yeah.
the more downwards that is. But I'd say the next port of call for you is to really focus. I know you speak about feeling like your body weight goes
Yeah.
a bit this way and you get cramped. Let's really focus on making sure that your left backside goes backwards and away from you this direction to give you that just a small bit more space. I'm not too fussed if strike is a bit thin like this to start with, because I think you figure that out. What I don't want is for it to keep going heel toe, and
Yeah.
have those crazy lies, because if you can't sort the lie out on a flat mat, as soon as you get to slopey lies on the golf course, it's going to be
All over the place.
But the lie angle
Yeah.
is averaging 1 degree now, so it's not getting as crazy as before.
On your feet. Get on down and get on down. Real low, low.
See, I don't mind that little rock back at the moment, because that's feeling different then, isn't it?
Get on down. Real low.
Just can't quite get to the ground, can you? Cool. Okay, so on these next ones, what you're doing, you're going to practice swing between each one.
Yeah.
And I want to just hear, so have a practice swing just in here. I want to hear the club hitting the ground. And we're going to try and get a nice light skip off the ground. Cool. Nice. And I would say that in your practice, let's do that. Have a practice swing. Okay, so go from the thousands of pounds of tech to the
cardboard.
Maverick display and the old hammer club. So, I want you to have a reference of your club face position, because I think that there's still still not quite sure where it is through the swing.
No.
And so we need to have a reference there. You're right-handed, so let's use your right hand as our parameter, and we're going to use your right palm. Okay, so your right palm is going to be your defining factor. If we want to be really specific, I'd love it to be this base knuckle at the bottom of your right index finger, but we'll take right palm. Okay, so if we're going to hit this V of the Callaway logo, okay, with my hammer club, right? Okay, I would stand bolt upright because this V is at chest height, okay, and I would have my hammer, so my club face, pointed straight at the V, and I would have the palm of my right hand also in the same direction. Agreed?
Yep.
As I swung my hammer around my body, it would make sense that the head of the hammer stayed pretty much level at all times. Agreed?
Yeah,
it wouldn't make much sense to go here, here, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, what's going on? And then try and wrench it back round at the last minute. Okay? So if we reference the palm, so if I put my palm just this side of the club for kind of ease of visual, as I brought the club back, it would make sense that my palm stayed level. Agreed?
Yeah.
Now, we don't hit a golf ball at this height, fortunately or unfortunately, but to get down to the golf ball, we have to tilt forwards. Agreed? So now, we're still going to hit the same Callaway V, but now the V is at the bottom of my display.
Thank you, Callaway, for being.
And as you can see, I have used this a few times before for the same demonstration. So this V is now where I'm aiming at. Imagine that's the golf ball. I'm going to get myself set up so my hammer is facing this V. And again, my palm is going to be facing the same way. So referencing that V. It was always pointed at the V when it was up here. It's always, my right palm is going to always be pointed at that V there. As I take the club back here, again, now I've tilted forwards, it would make sense that my hammer was also on a slight tilt, and my right palm, can you see that? Facing, as we go across here again, so it's a bit more visual. You can see my right palm is facing that V. It wouldn't make any sense to let my right palm point towards the camera or where the wall is, and we certainly wouldn't want to see it pointed up towards the sky, because that's adding a twist onto our hammer. So, palm down to the ball. If we then draw that back, that's going to have much more feelings of my right palm pointed away, so pointed behind me, and then coming down into here again, towards the golf ball and into the ball. Then I haven't got to make any twist. Now obviously human body doesn't necessarily work like that, there might be some twisting. I'd much rather you resisted that twist rather than let it happen, okay? Because if you think about it, the top of our backswing pretty much wants to be in the opposite direction to where we're hitting. So if the club hammerhead faces the V to start with, as you take it to the top, it wants to point away like that. Doesn't make any sense for it to twist too much. Okay, so let's start off with your club up against this. We'll just use the word Maverick, that's cool. Okay, so you can see that and you can feel your palm, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool, so make me a backswing. Just a short backswing to there. Yeah, good. Can you see how already that's starting to twist in that direction, but it's definitely a different feeling, isn't it?
It's
not that way.
I haven't gone.
No, you haven't rolled.
Like you probably would with, you say, a baseball bat. You would definitely.
But a baseball bat is completely circular, isn't it? So it doesn't matter. There's no face direction in baseball, is there?
But so it's, you know, that's the thing. It's not like.
It's not like baseball. Not in that. No, exactly. Because that might create more power by rolling. But we're talking about a club face that needs to point in the right direction. Cool. So it makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so now take it down to that logo down there. And again, same feeling. Where just take it back so it's... Yeah, good. And again, so maybe not quite so far back with the backswing this time. Good, can you feel that, yeah? Does that feel different?
Let me try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do exactly that. Yeah.
It's that way.
Yeah.
So it's.
Yeah, much more that way. Cool. And you probably, if you make a full backswing, you're probably not going to go much further back than you went. I'd much rather you were there in that kind of structured position than allowing that twist, which gives you more room to turn further through. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm just going to go 5 goes, just 5 goes of experimentation on this one. And I want you to feel if you get the feeling that that right palm ever twists underneath. And what you'll probably find, hopefully, once you, again, like the clutch thing, once your awareness comes in, it's on the start of the downswing that it twists under. Holy moly.
Very, very conscious to
Yeah, we'll be conscious, yes, definitely. Yeah. Maybe keep on with that practice swing drill for now, because again, it gives you another swing reference. Okay. Yeah, that's it. So remember, your golf swing is, you're going to feel like it's short and structured backswing, and then letting it go in the follow through. Yes. Oh, looks much better at the top. Just
a little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah. Are you starting to feel it now?
Yeah.
Good. And that's the whole point of this. If I can give you the awareness, so when it twists off to the right, you can feel on the downswing that it's doing that exactly. Yeah. It's just ever so slight, isn't it? You're just pulling a little bit with your hands rather than just not. You don't need a pull with the hands. Again, I know I say this, but does that make sense?
Oh yeah, it makes sense in the fact that I understand I understand the process.
Yes.
It's now constantly putting into thing, and we've done plenty of lessons on. Most of my lessons is on
Face
control. But like with everyone having like it needs to be a constant.
It needs to be reinforced. It's coaching. It's us. It's you. It's me giving you some drills.
Yeah.
You going away and doing them, and then we retest again in a few weeks. And it's a process rather than just like, oh, that's it. You're fixed.
I think like especially for people at home, pros are still having coaching.
Oh, they fly the coaches around the world with them. Of course they do.
So it's not my coach has already told me this. Like he's going to get annoyed because he's got to tell me again.
No, that's the fun. Can I explain it in a different way?
Yeah.
For you to understand it in a different way.
People are still, pros are still working daily.
Oh yeah.
On
the same things.
Over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, Justin Rose is a prime example. He speaks about him and you've gone back to Sean Foley now. Yeah. But they're working on the same things they were working on 10 years ago. But it's working, so let's keep rolling with it. Cool. Let's have 2 more, and then it's time for a cup of tea. Oh, Ryan, that is it, isn't it?
That is the one. I felt a little bit more fluid, less rigid. Less wooden. But I know I need to try and keep them rigid for now, just to really reinforce that feeling.
Yeah.
Not that.
Yes, exactly.
Get on down, real low, low. 1 foot to the left and jump to the right.
That feeling.
Oh yeah.
Boom. Thanks, Si. Right. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thank you to Simon for getting up at super o'clock in the morning to do a lesson. That's all right. We're going to have a cup of tea. I'm going to go to work. He's going to go to work. And we'll see you down here at PJ Live next time. Like, subscribe, and do all the things.
Bye.